What I enjoy in making movies is about small moments, and I seem to keep finding them in these places where it could be completely flat, or maybe it's really rocky, but you don't know what's going on. To make movies, and especially to make independent movies, you have to learn how to communicate, and in a lot of ways become political, because you're asking people to invest in their time and their money into work that's more than likely not going to give them money back. So you have to offer them something and try to figure out. I like to think that maybe I'm assembling a big group of monsters and we're making the movie together. Well, a few different ways. One is that I had been trying for a very long time to work with his wife, who's a producer, since about a dozen years ago. I met her and she saw a short film, and I was talking to her and trying to get her involved in each film that I would take to her. And then John C Reilly saw Mama's Man as well, and he had a very good reaction to it. I was able to get him the story that Terri was based on, and then it was a very, very slow courting process. It was like trying to push and push, but he took his time. But the more he got involved, the more excited I got, and then the less I could think of anybody else but him. It was I saw so many different kids in Los Angeles. I saw, especially since Terry's a big kid, I saw all these kids that are big kids, and very strong possibilities. Like so many good actors that felt strongly their attachment to Terri, but ultimately there was a bunch of qualities in Jacob Wysocki that I wanted Terri to have, and also I loved the chemistry that he had with the actors that I was bringing in, and especially with John. When I was able to bring John in and read them together, it became much clearer. Terri played very well in Sundance. It was great, and the audiences reacted very well. In terms of winning something, I got the feeling that maybe it was too arty to win, and in Locarno, I think that it's probably too commercial to win. Over here, I have a feeling that I don't, but maybe I'm wrong. The biggest thing for me was, we had our international premiere here the other day, and it was a 3,500 seat theater, sold out, and I hung out for the first 10 minutes, and once I started hearing people laugh, the same places that happens in the States, it made me feel so good, because I don't want to tell an American story. That's not my interest. I'm hoping to tell a people's story. And so that's what's important for me about festivals, is trying, okay, it plays in New York, it plays in Nashville, it plays in Atlanta, now hopefully it'll play in Austria. I feel very content with the film, and I feel like I catch new things in the movie that the actors did or that my cinematographer did, and that's what makes me feel really good about the work. I feel like it's still living, and I'm still seeing things that people brought to me and brought to the work that weren't in my control, but they were good things. Well, I think the question is, would I have been happier with more time or more money? And that's not the case. I was really, I'm glad that I had the amount that I did. It's a lot, it's a low budget, but compared to Mama's Man, it's, 20 times the amount. So it was, it felt big to me. It just felt like enough, and I think that's the idea, is that you just have enough. And I've seen films that I feel like got ruined by having too much money, that they took too much time. Well, the country is falling apart, and the films are just getting so good. I mean, I don't know if there's a correlation, but I go to these festivals, and I go to the theaters, and I see one work after another. Big budget, low budget. I mean, even like a film like Bridesmaids, to me, which is like this Judd Apatow film, I still felt like, wow, there's something really interesting going on here. I mean, besides very funny, there was something very human. And with this, I feel very inspired, and right now I see work, and it's intimidating, it's challenging, but it's also extremely encouraging to me. You know, it all feels connected somehow, you know, for sure. I don't know, you know, you go to people's films and you may not know them, but you'll recognize the lab, you'll recognize the sound, you'll recognize a production assistant, you'll recognize people. There is a way. I mean, it's a very small world. Even the Hollywood world's a very small world, you know? My next door neighbor, he's in the camera department for the big movies, so I talk to him, he's on his way to Batman and this and that, and I hear, and he's right next door, so it feels that way, especially in Los Angeles.